episode. Another live viewing of Adam Sketches Live. As I continue to get set up here, thanks for being patient. Sorry. All right. So how's everybody doing today? Where is my pencil? There it is. Alright, let's finish up our Manoswine, shall we? I don't have much to say at the moment. I'm kind of having a lull day, so if you got any questions, feel free to ask. Anything at all. I work in the mental health fields. I have a master's in psychology. I'm not saying we need to get into anything like that, but if you're having problems at home, if you're just having a rough day yourself, you know, that's okay to ask. Ask some questions. Talk about it. Because there's probably someone else out there going through the same thing that, you know, can hear that stuff and might find a little comfort in it. But other than that, it's a safe place. And I just don't have a lot to say at the moment. So, my apologies. So what I'm doing here is I'm trying to find some of my highlights and leaving just a little bit of white there. A little empty space so that when I go in and add white to it, it's not going to look too gray, like too washed out. And then we're just doing some cross hatching, essentially going back and forth to get this to look smooth. The whole trick is to have kind of a consistent pressure. you're gonna push, go towards your darts. If you're gonna pull, go away from your darts. Always start in your dark spot and pull away. Other than that, how close up you hold your pencil. So if you hold it up here, you're gonna get really hard lines. If you hold it back here, you'll get really light lines. So the further back you choke, and then how tight you're holding it. So it should be pretty loose. For me, most of the time, it's pretty loose. And then I just slightly pinch and squeeze the pencil just to get it a little bit firmer where I need to. And to make really straight lines, you do your hands. You move your hands mostly. So, a couple little tips there that no one asked for. And then, of course, if you miss my live streams, I will put these into a short montage. I generally aim for about a minute, and I will post those all over my social media. So. One of the big keys to a successful drawing or sketch is your values. So if you end up coloring in something, you're like, I know this needs to be my absolute black, and then it's the only thing that stands out. We might have to darken some other things. And I apologize for my voice being a little crackly. I just feel really out of breath today. Like I'm breathing real hard, and I don't want to, but... Rain Airman, how's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome to another day of drawing. How's your day going? You're bored. Huh. That's how I've kind of been feeling today. Like I do too much of the same thing too many times in a day. And I want to do something else, and then I don't. Like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to be around people. I want to interact with people. I just don't want to go out. Because there's always someone that I feel like kind of will ruin it or whatever. I don't know. I think I feel like I want to travel or go back home, see my friends or something like that. It's just a weird day. And it's cloudy out, so that's not helping. The other day was so nice. I was like reading a book. So I read and not really edit books, but I do feedback, so I read a lot of books before they're published. That's kind of motivating to read sometimes. It's exciting. You get to read something no one else has read. But the hard part is having to do it when you don't want to. So. Summer break started for you already? Wow. That's awesome. It doesn't start here for another month. That's cool. Okay. But yeah, so getting bored on summer break already? That happens. Have you thought about working on some projects? I know I have an art drawer I need to restore. It's I got it for like super cheap from hardware Oh, where did I get it from? What's that? It's kind of like a hardware store, but it's like the discount kind. What's that called? Can't think of the name. Harbor Freight. And I got a deal on it, and it's usually like $100 wood chest with drawers and everything. I'm gonna make a art thing out of it, but I gotta restore it a little bit. So I was gonna maybe do that live too at some point. Ah, okay. So are you homeschooled then? Or college? Sorry, I apologize. I can't see you on the other end to know how old you are. So what I'm doing here, just for those others that are watching, I'm just getting my tones right here, and then I'm gonna branch out so that it blends together. Oh, that's awesome! What a cool reward to do well the whole year and not have to do the final exams. That's really neat. Like, that is super exciting. I would have killed to have that. I flunked out of school, and I really struggled with test anxiety, which I learned later on. Probably wasn't until the military and then college when I realized I'm really not stupid. Like, and it was actually more on the side of I'm not too smart, but I can figure things out really well. So my IQ is definitely up there. But it took me a lot longer to get past that and realize I just need to practice a little bit more and maybe do a couple practice tests a couple different times to keep my brain from blanking out. But yeah, so I failed my not freshman year. I failed my freshman year and was never able to catch back up. And then I dropped out my senior year when I got my GED a couple months later. And then I went to college after the military for 5 years in a row with no breaks. I just went full time and pushed, and got my master's and everything. So, and I should have had a 3.8 GPA. I had a 3.6 because I had a few teachers that just didn't believe in giving out the max grade, no matter how well you did. So, you wake up at 8 every day. Is that 8 in the evening or 8 in the morning? Yeah, I wouldn't say school made me appear like I don't think it makes me feel like an idiot. It's politics. There's some professors that just have what am I trying to say? Like a philosophy in teaching that you always have room to improve. You always have room to improve. You always have room to grow. And I don't disagree with that in learning. But if you have a majority of students getting hundreds, maybe the curriculum is not hard enough, right? Depending on what your curve average is supposed to be. So maybe that's supposed to be you want 80% of your class having passing grades. Maybe you want them to have A's and B's at a 90% rate. But that means you still should have some getting essentially hundreds of perfect scores. So that's kind of what I fought in college. I had to defend every paper I wrote. And I mean every stinking paper I wrote. Because, they just different philosophies, so. And it's a psych. It was in psych most of the time. I had one a teacher that wasn't, a professor that wasn't really present. And And I was in graphic design school and just was not very kind to me. But eventually, we all make it through. I mean, I still had like one of the highest, GPAs in my graduating class, so I'm not like mad. It just, when you put in the hard work, it doesn't feel as motivating to just, oh, you didn't do as well. And it's like, but I did. Let's talk about it. So, but that's really exciting, dude. So you got to pass on exams. I would kill for that, like I said. That's really awesome. And now you're on like a summer school. So what do you like to do in your free time and stuff? Do you play video games? Do you draw? We've probably talked about this before. And you'll have to forgive me if I have forgotten. Because I don't see any pictures with the names. It's real hard to remember who I've spoken with. And my mind's been all over the place, so that doesn't help either. I have had an eventful past couple weeks. So. I see. Yeah, taking the bus, I mean, it used to be kind of cool because you got to, I think, spend time with friends, but I personally, I think I used to bicycle like 6 miles to school, and that was in junior high. Every day. And I even did that sometimes in the winter. I did it all the time. I just wanted to be that kind of independent, I guess. But I think I got rides as I got a little bit older. So. But I miss the bus sometimes. Even as an adult. Because, and I'll tell you why. I hate driving sometimes. So I would probably give it up to take a bus. People watch, stuff like that. I guess that's kind of a way you could look at it, people watching. You want to rest your mind because school, I have paranoia. Before I found I am in that system that I'm not in. Do you mean like state of mind? Kind of, sort of? Like you find you're in a state of mind of that particular state? I'm spending a lot of time on this back leg here. Just can't get the shading right to reflect the way I want to. Uh, yeah. I know what you mean. Like, I know the feeling where it's you just kind of wake up and start thinking about things that kind of make you anxious. And it's hard not to feel anxious about it. It's a sign of a good person, I tell you what. Because there's people that don't think about it at all. So, I don't know if that is a helpful anecdote there, but I think it's a good sign. Might have to go in with a electric eraser for my so I can add my highlights. Maybe that would be the easiest way to kind of go about this. Perhaps. Yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I understand how that doesn't feel very good. I'm the same way. It's been that way for me for a long time. I have to check all the doors and windows every night. Um, I did used to suffer from sleep paralysis. Every once in a while, I have issues, but basically, it's where you have those nightmares that feel absolutely real and you can't move. Um, because I'm as conscious and aware of things. Pardon me. I feel like I got like a frog in my throat. You ever hear that before? So, oh, maybe I can get my voice to sound a bit more right now. Anyways, oh yeah. Ha! I must have been sounding like a little girl this whole time. Anyways, so I do have issues where I wake up and I'm just as aware as I am now in these dreams, and it feels like something really bad is happening, and I can't move, and it's just I wake up in this huge panic and sweat. So I have learned to tell myself I'm having one of those moments, and things usually work itself out. Now it's more like, oh, here we go. I'm fully aware of my dream. So. You have metal doors and a metal door frame. Do you live in a castle? Because that sounds really cool, but I don't know what that. Does that mean they make noise that just kind of freaks you out? man, you could have totally created this whole persona that you live in a castle. That's cool. You have metal doors, though. Mine are made of wood and glass. It's not very, I never liked it as far as security goes, but I do have a prior military background, so that kind of, you know, is what entices that a little bit. Wanting a little bit more security. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think metal doors would be pretty neat. Yeah, they can be. I mean, a solid wood door like oak or, you know, some really heavy duty door, it may not be, but a steel door is definitely stronger. Yeah, you could break the doors with your hands. You must be pretty strong then. Do you weightlift? Yeah. You know, sometimes I'm okay with the door being able to be broken in, and I think about, like, if there was a fire, I'd want the door to be able to be broken in so that I would be safe. But, you know, I could be rescued. But there's windows and other things for that, so that's kind of what I look at. Alright, so now I'm just going through and making all the adjustments I need to, and getting the tones and details right. I think if I did this with my brush pen, this would have been a little faster, but it also could come out a little too dark, and I wanted this to look like a sketch. You know, kind of like we're out in the wild looking at Pokemon, and I'm just chilling there under a tree one day or something, or on a rock, leaned up against a rock, collecting information and observations on the Manoswine. But if you want to know why I like to draw, I like the chase of feeling satisfied when I create something new. So that is my main motivation. It's not whether, you know, it gets sold. It's just if I make something new and it's liked, basically. It looks good to me. Yo, why'd you all of a sudden stop charging here? Let's... There we go. Yeah. So it's like only 0.5 inches thick. Alright, so Rainair Man, what should the next Pokemon be I sketch? I don't know if this will be the last one for now, but I might have to take a small hiatus and work on one of my commissions, which is a portrait, but some of these sketches don't take long if I do it right. What's your favorite one? Don't have a favorite? Okay. What's one that you like, then? Out of all those. It doesn't have to be one specific. I like a ton of them. I never thought of doing a Manoswine, but here we are, drawing a Manoswine. And I think it's turning out pretty cool, which I never would have thought of or had done if I hadn't tried. So that's where I'm at with it. And I just love drawing on Tantone paper. A little bit of passion there. For it. I hate using my brush pens on it because it just absorbs ink, but ditto. Yeah, you want to? Okay. I've already got one of those. Well, let's see if I can find it here in this book. There we go. Ditto. And it's not done yet. I know it seems like it's almost done, but I have a little bit more to do up here. And then I'm trying to make it look reflective. Like a real object and everything. So Someone requested this. Oh, wait, that was you. You requested this. What? Dude. So we have chatted. Again, I apologize, I forgot. That's nuts. Look at that. Oh man, I'm tripping right now. Yeah, I've worked like a while on this to get that shiny look on there. This must have been before I was streaming live for everything I was doing. That's where I came up with the whole Adam Sketches live bit. Ugh. So that's awesome, dude. How about that? When I'm finished, I'll get you a digital copy of this, okay? And then like I've even changed up my signature and everything since then. So I was doing this one, and then now I'm doing, where's my magic carp? This one here. So a little bit more of a logo. Got my two initials in there, A and C. But yeah. Yeah, no, I probably drew the outline, but yeah, no, I've been coloring that one during meetings. When I get bored. So that's really cool. How about that? But yeah, I very carefully color this in. It needs to look as smooth as this over here and have the proper shadows and reflection. Every little bit I do, it like adds a little. So it's very, I gotta be very careful. But it's turning out really neat. And yeah, Ditto's one of my favorites. I also got this little guy for it. So he's got a little figurine, little Lego figure. I really like the Ditto. And the Darkrai Mimikyu one I did. Here's a Bulbasaur. I'm not sure if you've seen these or not, but yeah. But dude, no way! That's so exciting. I still have a Gengar I haven't finished. I need to do that one too. Only my Gengar looks a little too round. Looks like a Electrode mixed with a Gengar, which would probably make a pretty cool looking Pokemon. There's Dedenne, and that's an evolved one, which Dedenne doesn't evolve, so I made it evolve. And it's a little bit more yellow than I wanted it to be, but it looked really cool, so I went with that. You know, whatever looks cool. I still have my old signature on this one. Let's see. Oh, I still have it on this one too. I thought I changed it a while back. Must have been a lot more recent than I realized. Anyways. Very cool. Party pioneers. The logo of website on Chrome turn into the Roblox logo for no reason. What does that mean? I don't know what logo or website. Are you talking about the Twitch logo or mine? Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Listen. I might have to do some work like some architecture and landscaping sketches, and we could do that Pokemon based or themed too. That might be fun to figure out. I just realized my nostrils don't point down, like one should be here and there, and kind of V more, but that's where you learn things as you go. That's the importance of sketching. To learn those things. If you ever feel like you went too dark, do one of two things. Adjust your contrast here in the center. I'm dealing with some imperfections in the paper. Or you can take a kneaded eraser and slightly just dab and pull up. This doesn't erase like regular paper necessarily, like regular graphite when it's colored pencil. Sometimes you can do enough and then it looks right. You just have to give yourself enough credit to have room to experiment. But there's some imperfections in this paper, so it's got some really dark, hard lines, scratches, or imperfections in it right here. Some new songs in the list, finally, it seems like. And every round object that might have a little bit of shine to it always has this bottom reflection. So you leave a little highlight at the bottom, and that gives it that more 3D approach. Oh yeah, awesome. Well, let me know. I'll be one of the first to go check it out. Um, yeah, I have a hard time trying to create content. I'd rather. That's why I kind of stuck with live. Because then it just automatically uploads. But I'm trying to make a few videos and tutorials, and I'm working on a tutorial book, how to sketch like me, basically. And I'm trying to make it with some aspects to it that people that don't usually draw can draw, and kind of get the same effect. So it has some helping materials in there and everything. And it's not just instructions, it's like, it's a little bit of something that actually will help you get good results. So I'm using my psychology degree and a few other artistic knowledge and trying to gain what I can at other places to make it work, but it's all just gonna take time. But that is what I'm working on. Right now, a hard one that I'm struggling with is elephants, because there's so much detail and texture in them. I'm trying to simplify it a tiny bit, but still, you know, you get the illusion that when you're doing the sketch, it comes out looking like how you would want it to. So, yeah, no, totally. But I can try, right? Maybe. I don't know. Anywho. Alright, so now I got pretty much the base down. Let's go in and see how the white does in the areas I want to add some white highlights. I'm going to sharpen my pencil because I want this to be subtle. Oh, I am running out of white. I don't even know. I can almost barely get it in my sharpener. This will be going in my Altoid tin that I bring around with me for coloring. And then I just bring one of these. And I sketch on the go. Or, depending on what sketching I'm doing, if it's very loose sketching, I just hold it like this and do my sketches. So, it just kind of looks like this. Anywho, that's what it looks like. But I'm actually debating if I want to add white to this. I have another option to pull out some highlights a little bit more intentionally. So let's try that. Let's experiment with what I want to do here. And now I'm struggling to find my electric eraser. Where is it? Yeah, I'm gonna end up running out of white. I have plenty of white pencils. I have like 4 or 5 more. I always have about a supply of at least 5. Seriously, where is my electric eraser? Oh, there it is. Found it. Alright. This is it's a slightly larger nib than I want it to have, but that's okay. Well, you can get some of it rounded up here. Yeah, I'm getting a nice hard edge, but I'm not really getting. Yeah, it might work a little bit. Tigray, hello. Thank you. I appreciate that. Currently experimenting if I want to do white for my highlights or just erase them. And then I'm going to do a toned background, I think. I don't know if I want to do a landscaped background or not. But I thought about it. The erasing is not going as planned. I might need to get a new electric razor here. Or electric eraser. Because this one has seen its days. And there's way more like precise and powerful ones out there. This one I put the little bit of pressure on and it doesn't want to keep going. So that's a little discouraging. Alright, now I just gotta go back in and color up some of this here. Alright, well, it's going on my birthday list. That's not till like a few months from now, but people ask me, what do you want? I'm gonna be like, better electric eraser, I guess. I mean, seriously, I can't get enough art supplies, especially if it's high quality. That's the only thing I ask. All I want are high quality ones, high quality polychromos, just high quality is a huge plus. And actually, the set I want to get is like $300, but someday. can never be the boy you want me to. Yeah, does it... Yeah, it's called an electric eraser. I'm not sure what brand would be better, but... yeah, it's... I'll have to keep a lookout for it. So let's see. I'm still like on the fence of doing... Don't want it that way. I don't know if I want to do whites in here. I think I kind of like the not white, but I also want it to look, you know, subtle. Not so obvious. Now, if I do my other technique, basically what that does is I make the background it's where I make the background slightly darker, and then these highlights are a different tone than the back, and it makes it pop. So maybe I'll do that. I just need my warm. I think this is my lightest one, essentially. Extreme. I have white liner, white gold. You want me to? So this one is warm gray, 272, and I don't know if that's the last one I have, but I feel like it is. And that's what kind of makes that shadow there. But again, I don't know if I could end up going too dark, what that'll look like. This is so hard to decide. Decisions. I could add a background to it. That might be pretty cool too. Let's do that. Could be against my better judgment, but it won't be that hard to do. definition to this here. Like so. Makes it look pretty cool. Alright, let's see about this background here. Yeah, this is the part where I'm like, what am I doing? Why did I decide to do this? Trying to create landscape is not, you know, my forte, but it is a good thing to learn to do. Like, you can do some really cool things with it. It's just seeing it. That's kind of takes a while. Like, it doesn't feel very immediate. Like, until it does. you just gotta mind your light sources and things. This one's kind of from the left and top, but I also have enough play that I can kind of go from behind too on this. So kind of just, it'll work. Something like that. Not sure what kind of rocks these are, where you'd find them, but maybe in this world you would. I don't know. It's a hard one to piece together. Hi Nathan, thank you so much for that. Not sure why that's relevant for a art stream, but thank you. Sure. Were you around during the Satanic Panic? And they were all like, Pokemon is satanic and evil. Yeah, it's just make believe. So it's not. It's just imaginary. It's not even make believe necessarily. One of the cool things about rock formations, you can kind of do whatever you want with them. Yeah, Nathan, thanks again. This Pokemon loves you too. Can't decide how I want my formation to go here, but this is kind of what I'm starting with. I'll add a highlight in here somewhere. And another rock to come in. And give it a slightly different format. And then plateau that one. And then we'll just kind of create a little something here. Looks ace. Thank you. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate that. Rock formations drive me bonkers. Because it's like so hard to get the idea of what you're doing until you see it. You know, when you see it, you see it. And it's easy. But everything prior to that is not so easy. There's got to be a way, right? A method that helps kind of make these a little easier to draw rocks. I always feel like my rocks look so terrestrial. So maybe he just like obliterated these rocks. Like it's like a stone split in half almost. I don't know. But yeah, no, I'm seriously struggling with some of the rock formation stuff here. But you see how it starts to come together. So it does. It's a very good exercise to really trust the process that you're doing. Just clean this up a little bit. Adding a little more contrast here. We're going to bring this one up. Like that. Just add a little more detail in there. Oh, that's going to be dark. Like so. Yeah, so you definitely can see sort of transformation here. Alright, what are we thinking? Pretty cool. Owen, thank you. Yeah, I hope it's looking pretty neat. I feel like I got this just a tiny bit darker than this here, but I'm trying to make it blend in as best I can. So let's add a little bit more to the hard shadows, just like in the rocks there. To kind of give it that effect to where it blends in a bit. Alright, should this thing have some clouds, maybe? Let's add a little bit of cloud in here. Not sure the best way to do that. Kind of just doing what I would do painting, essentially. Lighter at the bottom, especially if the sun's down here, it's lighter, and then darker towards the top. And it also depends where it's coming from. I'm kind of feeling like these clouds might be more on the destructive side. Like almost like creating smoke clouds and debris. Because I want to have some action, right? So that's essentially what I'm attempting to do here. I'm sure you guys can see how that's coming to, just a little bit. Let's curl this a little bit here. something like that. Yeah, sometimes you also just need to step back a little bit and then you start seeing it. It's kind of like that. Kind of works. And then we're just going in really light. Really, really, really light. Because it will change the background tone enough so that we have the contrast there. The whole idea of this was to make the highlights in the character pop out a little more. I think I'm still gonna have to go in with white because it just looks flat. Maybe not on camera, but in person it looks flat. Like really, really flat. So we'll just do a little bit, not a lot. Just to kind of lighten up some of the areas that need it. Some of the highlights. Because it does begin to look good. And all that. You know what I don't want though is for it to be on my line work. That's what I don't want. Yeah, that's looking cool. That'll look really neat. Now another highlight I do that I probably won't do on this one is I do like two little dots to make something look shiny. So the only area I'd probably actually do that is here. You do it kind of like that and it gives it that shiny look. And then I'll blend that in.
Does that look like it's pardon me, does that look like it's working? Maybe? Maybe a little?
Yeah. I always say stop before you go too far. But I'm stubborn. I guess. So that's just kind of to balance out my picture just a tiny bit, because I did not frame this very well. So I'm just balancing it out on here. I'm focusing more on the edge to do that. So I'll just make it kind of black. So it's abstract. And go from there. Like so. So what do we think? Does it look pretty cool? Pretty chill?
You know what we gotta add now is a tiny bit of debris. Get some action. How do I want to do that? Oh, this is an interesting song remake. Alright, should we call it? I don't feel like we should call it. Before I do too much damage to this thing.
looks a little better. Alrighty, I'm calling it. I'm gonna call it. I need to call it. I'm getting exhausted. Not sure about my choice here for this looking font, but kind of works. Anywho. Just having a little fun with it now, but Manoswine. So Tim Vault Sagas, thank you very much for creating that prompt to draw this particular Pokemon. I think it looks pretty awesome, especially when you flip through. and just see the differences. Looks pretty neat. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for joining and hanging out. And those of you that engaged and commented, that's very much appreciated. I